This is just going to be a quick overview of how to remove the headliner from a 2000 to 2006 Suburban, Tahoe, or any GM SUV in that year range. The only difference between the short body and the long body is that the long body has an extra panel in the back. All the procedures are the same. Pictures only. It'll go more quickly that way. There's one step missing, and here it is. The back of the headliner has two wiring harnesses, one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side. The passenger side can be easily unclipped, and it is. The driver's side has two connectors inside the dash. One of the connectors is easily accessible, and this will be shown. The other one is somewhere buried by the driver's feet. I was not able to find it. I did a workaround. Instead, I peeled the driver's side harness away from the back of the headliner. That was very risky. You risk breaking wires in doing so. So if somebody can send a message, maybe pictures of where that other connector is and its location, I will update this. So meanwhile, let's just quickly get along. And very first step, you're going to remove the visors. There are 3 T51 screws on one end and one on the other end, which I don't bother to show. When you pull it down, you'll see a connector to remove. Just unplug that. That's for the mirror light. Most of the connectors look like what you see here. Just stick your screwdriver in there, lift it up, and pull them out. Very simple. When you remove the driver's visor, you'll see a little cap. Remove that. There's a screw there. Remove that. On the driver's console, ceiling console, reach your hand in the back. You'll feel a little hole with a screw. Sorry for the bad picture. And remove that. I believe that's a T20. And then you can just grab the end in the back. Just pulls right down. You can see the clips. And the center console, very simple. Go to the back. You can just pry out the rear HVAC controls. They pop out. Disconnect the wire, remove those 2 screws, and do the same thing. The front end just pulls down with the clips. Very simple. Removing the handle by the front door, just get a screwdriver, pop out those little receivers, and then put your hand on the handle and just gently pull, and you'll feel it release from the metal body above. The back, there is a courtesy light that'll need to be removed. Be careful that you pull down the driver's side first and then slide it out in the direction of the driver's side. And the reason for that is the clip on the driver's side is flexible, and as you can see, the one on the passenger side end is rigid. So pull down from the driver's side and then slide it out in the direction of the driver's side. You've got about maybe 3 or 4 Christmas tree pins. Just grab a L-shaped needle nose, works great. You can see these are larger. When you remove the trim around the back door on the top, you'll see a small, another Christmas tree. This one is smaller. Make sure you remove that. The hooks, there are 2 in the back. This is how they come apart. You can see they sort of separate. It's very difficult to do. Get your screwdrivers in there and just work it out, but trust me, that's how it's done. You can leave it in like this, or you can remove the pin and then stick a screwdriver on the side to sort of release it from the headliner. And then go around all the doors, remove these kick panels so that you could remove the pillar trim. Just go all the way around the car and pull all the pillar trim out. You will need to remove the seat belt from, I believe that is the driver to passenger pillar. 3/8 need not apply. That's on very tight. You'll need a 1/2-inch wrench, a T50, and even a breaker bar. To remove the handles, you just have 3 10mm screws, and once those are removed, just give it a yank. You can see there's a clip just like all the other trims. And then in the back, you've got 2 panel trims. They each have a speaker. You can disconnect the speaker, or you can pull these tabs back and just remove the speaker from the holder, which is what I did. And when you pull the panel that's holding the HVAC or concealing the HVAC, you'll, oh no, this is also on the pillar trim. This is your lock and unlock button, so remove that. Now to remove the panel for the HVAC, which you'll need to do, there is a 7mm screw there, and then you have this just unscrews the vice grips or channel locks. And then when you pull the panel out, you'll see a power supply. Disconnect that. And then on the other side, just pull that housing off, and you may or may not have a speaker housing inside. That'll need to be removed. 2 screws, 10mm. The left one's already removed, and it tips out, and that's good. Now there's one more thing to disattach is the plenum going from the HVAC unit up to the ceiling. It's held in place with a 7mm screw. Just remove that. And now you're going to remove the harness for the passenger side. And the first thing to do is go in the HVAC unit, and you'll see this connector with a pivoting lock mechanism. And all you do is just stick a screwdriver up to lift those tangs and rock it back, and then stick a screwdriver, release those little pins here, and pull it out. And then you'll see a connector here on the pillar. You'll see another connector right there. Remove those, and then just start following the harness as it goes up and is attached to the body. And then the last thing to disconnect would be the wire for the rear view mirror. You can see, just stick a screwdriver in there, push the pin back, and unplug it. And then one thing to note, the wiring harness on the passenger side is fed through a frame mounted to the ceiling. You'll need to fish it out of that so that when the headliner drops, it doesn't get snagged. To get to the driver's side harness disconnects, you need to disassemble the dash. Assuming most people know how to pull the bezel off. If you don't, put the brake on, ignition on, put the car in low, lower the steering wheel, stick your fingernails behind the bezel and just pull. It'll pull towards you, tip it up, and take it away. Then you need to remove the bolster. This is a knee bolster on the driver's side, 2 screws. And then you just pull on the top. You can see there are just 2 little pins holding it in place. To remove the 2 air ducts, just stick a screwdriver in there, release the lower one, release the upper one, and you should be able to pivot out the right side enough so that the left side is free. They both come out very easily. They each have screws behind that need to be removed. And to remove the handle, this is looking inside the right air duct. You look up there in the corner, the little white image there, that's a button. You press it, pull the right side out a little bit, reach inside the left, push that button, and the handle will pull out. You can remove it all the way. The left and right sides of the dash have triangular pieces. Just remove those. They pull right off. 2 screws. I found it helpful to use a stubby on the inside screws. And then there are 5 or 6 7mm screws around the periphery of the perimeter of the dash. Remove those. And then just reach your hands inside those 2 air duct voids and just start pulling and rocking. The dash will eventually come free. If you see here, you have 3 clips, and they just engage these 3 parts in the dash, and that's all that's really holding it in place. There are guides in the back. You'll see these receivers on the skin, and they engage these pins on the dash. And once you've removed the dash, looking through the steering wheel, sort of on top of the dash, looking through the windshield about where the steering wheel is, you'll see this connector. This is one of the 2 connectors that will disengage the driver's side harness. However, I was not able to find the harness for somewhere down near the feet. So instead, I disconnected the harness and removed it by peeling it away from the adhesive holding it on. This is a feature not all cars will have. If you have the climate control, this is a temperature sensor. I needed to disconnect that. If it is possible, there's a hole if you don't have this feature. It's possibly there's a hole in this fiberglass headliner shell, but there isn't a hole in your headliner. Sometimes optional holes are drilled. Be sure when you're laying your new headliner that you mark this hole so that you don't cut a hole in your headliner. And so you see here, then I just started pulling all of the harnesses off, and very risky. Now once the harness is free, you're ready to pull the headliner out of the car. Remove the third row seat, put the second row seat down flat, move the front seats forward all the way, and the back seats in full recline. You'll be able to tip the driver's side down, the passenger side up, and pull it diagonally out of the vehicle, right through the back. Get a couple horses, lay it down and start preparing it, which is the next step. This is a holder for the screw that was under the driver's visor. That will need to be removed. And you can see from underneath, two little pins, just squeeze them together and pop it out. This is the, if you have the temperature control, pins, just release the cover. And you'll see there are 3 pins. You'll need to put a screwdriver underneath this little cover at the bottom for tension, and then squeeze the pins out, and that's it. I've already removed the cloth from the headliner, so it's time now to remove all of the foam that will remain. Choose your weapon. Brushes, drill. I thought the drill did a better job productivity-wise. If you use a drill, be very careful that it is spinning away from any edge, whether it's the edge of the headliner board or if it's a hole. If you have the drill in the direction of the edge going into it, you will cut into it. So be very careful of that. Then when that's done, you will need to after the rough is done, you could use a brush and get all the debris that you missed. And then you will have debris inside all the holes for the vents. So to get that out, you'll see on the side there's a plenum, and there are 2 holes to the left of it. You blow air into that, and then blow from the plenum out towards this hole, and then blow from this hole out to those 2 at the end. At this point, we're about ready to cover it, and that will be the next video. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.